Cebu is the second largest city in the Philippines and is also the oldest city in the country. It is the country's most important seaport, with 80% of shipping passing through the port. Cebu's Mactan Island was invaded by Magellan on behalf of Spain in the year 1521. However, Magellan underestimated local king Lapu-Lapu and met his end at the Battle of Mactan. Today, almost 500 years later, the area of Magellan's last stand is called Lapu-Lapu, after the local king who was the first to repel the Spanish invaders. Despite the death of Magellan, the Spanish colonization continued, and with them came cultural influences, which included the skills of guitar making. The craft of making guitars by hand flourished here and is now an important local industry. Ferdinand Alegre is a third-generation guitar maker and player.
Guitar in the Philippines started sometimes in 18th century. You know, when there was a follow-up on the work of the Spanish priests for the christening of Cebu. So during the Christianization of Cebu that time, they brought some Mexicans who with them brought a guitar. Guitars was used that time for the accompaniment of gospel songs. So the Spanish priests came back here in Cebu, bringing these Mexicans with guitars, and used these guys for singing the gospel song. The local people were so curious about the construction of the guitar, so they repaired the damage, so they could right away use the guitars. Then it so happened also of their curiosity, they studied the anatomy of the construction of the guitars and built their own. So since then, when they learned the art of the guitar making, it became a part of the arts and craft of the people living during that time, which became their livelihood.
The Philippine Islands have much of the necessary wood and materials needed for guitar making, and the guitar factories in Cebu make a range of stringed instruments ranging in size from mandolin to the double bass. All guitars are made by hand.
Maybe so many people is asking, Philippines is so big, why Cebu? It is because this was the first landing point of the Christianization. That's why it so happened that the guitar was brought here. And since then, the people living in the community make it as their livelihood. So we call it a wholesome business, or a wholesome kind of business, in a sense that the father of the family construct the guitar, and the rest of the members of the family do some of the parts of the guitar, and then normally it's the wife who does the polishing or the varnishing of the guitar. So that's how it started, the guitar making, and it spread out all over Cebu province, but particularly it started here in Lapu-Lapu City. Philippines, just like the Mexican, they're under colonization of Spain. So they were taught how to make guitars. That's why they have guitars also, which was the one they brought here in coming to the Philippines. But the guitar was developed by the Spanish people during the time of Antonio Torres, who discovered the classical guitar, the standard size of international classic guitar. The construction design of those guitars that was brought in here in Cebu came from the Spanish people, their own construction design. So you could just imagine that the Filipino who learned the guitar based on the product or the actual guitar that they brought, copied the same pattern that was given by the Spanish people to the Mexicans. So more or less, the technique and the pattern design that was received by the Filipino people during that time is the same pattern that came from originally from Spain. World-class guitar are made of a very special wood. Out of 10 best wood, 7 wood species can be found in the Philippines. So meaning to say, the wood matters when you make the guitar.